So, you know how we're all getting used to these amazing AI chatbots, right? Like, they're these tools we go to when we need something. But what if that whole model was flipped? What if the AI came to you? What if it was just working for you 24/7 in the background? Okay, let's really dig into this because that is the exact idea behind a platform called OpenClaw. And this slide right here just lays it out so perfectly. It's really a big shift in how we think about this stuff. On one side, you've got the AI you visit. You know the drill, ChatGPT, Claude. You pop open a tab, ask your question, you close it, and poof, the AI has no idea who you are anymore. It's like it has amnesia. But then look at the other side, the AI that works for you. This thing is proactive. It actually has a memory, and it can kick off tasks all by itself. I mean, this is a totally different way of thinking about what an AI assistant can be. So, what is OpenClaw? Well, it's the piece of technology that actually makes this whole proactive assistant thing happen. It's a free open source platform that you set up to just run all the time. This isn't just another chat window. Think of it more like an engine that's designed to plug into your digital life and actually do stuff for you. The whole identity of OpenClaw really comes down to these three main ideas, or pillars. First up, brain and memory. Yeah, it connects to all those powerful AI models we know, but the key part is that it remembers. It remembers what you've talked about, your preferences, everything. Second, it's always on. That means it can just sit there, monitoring things in the background and taking action completely on its own, without you having to tell it to. And finally, number three, tools and actions. This is huge. It can actually integrate with the apps you use every single day, Gmail, calendar, you name it, and perform real tasks inside them. Okay, so all that sounds really cool in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when you use it? What can it do? This is where we get to the good stuff, moving beyond just chatting with an AI to seeing it take real-world action. And trust me, it's pretty powerful. Check out this first example. This is a brilliant use of that always-on pillar. This person's gym has one of those annoying systems where you can only sign up for a class 24 hours in advance. So what do? They told their OpenClaw bot to just watch the schedule. And the second the class opens up, boom, it registers for them automatically. It's one of those simple, little, repetitive things that are so easy to forget, but the AI just handles it. No more missing out on a workout because the class filled up. Okay, now this next one shows off the tools and actions pillar, but with a real layer of intelligence on top. The AI saw an interview pop up on the person's calendar, but it didn't just see it as a block of time. It understood what interview means. So it automatically created a prep doc, went online and researched the company and the specific role. And then it even compared all that information against their resume. It basically anticipated what they would need and just did it. And here's a classic personal assistant role. Every morning at 7 a.m., it just does its thing. It checks the calendar, it scans through new emails, and then it sends a nice, clean list of the day's priorities. I mean, think about that. That's the difference between you having to open up 3 different apps and figure it all out yourself versus just having the important stuff delivered right to you. All right, so I know what you're probably thinking right about now. This sounds absolutely incredible, but what's the catch? How hard is this to set up? And look, there is a setup process, but it's not as scary as it sounds. It really just boils down to you making 3 big decisions. So let's walk through what those are. Okay, first things first, where is this thing actually going to live? Where does it run? You got a few options. You could run it on your own PC, and hey, that's free. But the second you turn off your computer, it stops working. Plus, the security risk is pretty high. Option 2, you could use some spare hardware you have lying around, but that means buying a computer, which is a big upfront cost. Honestly, for most people, the sweet spot is a cloud server, what's often called a VPS. It's usually a low monthly cost, it's always on, and, this is super important, it keeps the AI totally separate and isolated from your personal computer. That's a huge win for security. And that brings us right to the second big decision, which is maybe the most important one of all. How are you going to secure this thing? And let me be really, really clear about this. When you give an AI the keys to read your files, your messages, and browse the web as you, security stops being optional. It's not a feature, it's an absolute necessity. You have to build strong guardrails around it from day one. And this isn't some made-up theoretical risk. This is a real story that someone posted. Their OpenClaw bot was out there browsing the web for them, and it landed on a page that had hidden text. Now, this hidden text was designed to trick the bot, to make it do something malicious. But here's the cool part. The bot was smart enough to catch it. It realized what was happening and flagged the whole thing as suspicious. I mean, that's a perfect example of why you need these defenses in place. So how do you actually protect it? It really comes down to 3 main layers of security. First, you harden the setup. That just means following the recommended security guides to lock everything down. Second, you set permissions. This is a big one. You make it so the bot has to ask for your permission before it does anything major, like, say, send an email as you. And third, you put caps on its spending and runtime. This is to prevent some task from going haywire, getting stuck in a loop, and racking up a massive bill. All right, on to the third and final big decision you have to make: managing the cost. Your total monthly bill is really made up of two totally separate things. First, there's the fixed price for the server, that cloud server or VPS we talked about. That's a low, predictable fee you'll pay every month. But then you've got the variable part, the cost for the AI model's API calls. And you can see that dynamic right here. The server cost, that bar is low and fixed. It's stable. The API cost, on the other hand, is variable and can get really high if you're not careful. Basically, every single time your bot thinks or processes something, it costs a fraction of a cent. And while that sounds tiny, those little costs can add up fast. So the key is to be smart and avoid these really common cost traps. For starters, you don't need to use the super powerful top-tier AI model for every little thing. That's overkill. You also have to make sure that if a task fails, it doesn't just keep trying forever and ever, running up your bill. And finally, if you have your bot doing frequent checks, like, is it 9 a.m. yet? You want to make sure it's using the cheapest model possible for that. It all comes down to smart management. Okay, so we've talked about the setup, the security, the costs. Let's zoom out for a second. What's the big picture here? What's the real takeaway? It's really this. OpenClaw isn't just another tool. It's a move towards a truly personal AI. It gives you complete control. You set the rules, you define the behavior. It has that persistent memory, so it actually gets to know you and your needs over time. And since it's open source, the sky is the limit for customization. This thing isn't just an assistant, it's a framework for building your assistant. So I want to leave you with this one final question to think about. Now that you've seen what's possible, forget about the technical stuff for a second. Just imagine, if your AI could handle one task for you 24/7 without ever getting tired, what would it be